What's up, guys? It's Josh here from Cavs Talk here on YouTube, and today is the first episode of Cavs Talk. So, you're probably wondering, who the heck am I? What the heck is this series? And I'm going to tell you right now. So, Cavs Talk is going to be, I don't really know how many episodes I'm going to post a week. I mean, the Cavs they have weeks where they play one game, they have weeks where they play three. So, we'll see how many episodes a week I post. It's pretty much going to depend on what's going on with the team itself and if there's any news breaking or anything I want to kind of talk to you guys about. So that's about the series. It's just going to be a fun little thing where I can express my opinions about my favorite basketball team, the Cleveland Cavaliers. But who am I? My name is Josh. I'm a high school senior, and I have been a die-hard Cavaliers fan since birth. Now, what makes it weird is I don't live by Cleveland. I mean, I live 2.5 hours out, 3.5 hours out, around there. 2.5 to 3.5 hours out. So it's not like I get to go to every Cavs game, and it's not like I'm a season ticket holder, and it's not like, I don't know how to explain it, but because of the difference it took to get there, I think that's one of the reasons why I became such a diehard fan, because I would drive 3.5 hours, and then I would see them, and then, the issue of not being able to get back all the time to see them made me just want to watch them on TV and stuff like that. So I became a Cavs fan when my uncle, who actually introduced me to the NBA and basketball in general, he was a diehard Cavs fan. So naturally, I became a Cavs fan. So the first game I ever went to was the Cavs versus 76ers way back in the day. I don't even remember how old I was, but I mean, this was a battle between Allen Iverson and the Cavs. And I mean, LeBron played for the Cavs at this point, but he wasn't, the superstar LeBron that he is now. He wasn't anywhere near there. He was new. I don't know. It wasn't his rookie season. It might have been his second or third season in the league. So he wasn't this behemoth of basketball yet. But I saw them that game. 76ers ended up winning. AI was a monster. I mean, it was awesome to see him. Then I saw the Cavs versus Lakers. Got to see Kobe and LeBron duel it out. LeBron played very well that game, I remember. And then I got to go to 2 playoff games. One against the Orlando Magic in 2009. It was Game 5, so it was the game they were down 3-1. They came back to Cleveland, won that game, and then the very next game they were done. Really disappointing, but it was an awesome Game 5 to watch. And then I saw Game 2 against the Chicago Bulls in 2010. And that featured LeBron James with a monster dunk. And that was a really fun game to see. But, again, they ended up losing to the Celtics that year. And it was a little bit of a bummer. It was. So, then LeBron left. And I was questioning, do I stay with the Cavs? I mean, man, without LeBron. And we've had a rough, let me just say, Cavs fans have had the roughest time in the NBA the last 3 seasons. Since LeBron left, it has just been absolutely heartbreaking. So, without further ado, let's get into this season so far. So, I think I'm right by saying a lot of us thought that the Cavs were going to be a very good team this year. And I think a lot of us thought that they would be up in the 4 or 5 seed of the playoffs. And this season just completely was a huge disappointment. One of the reasons, obviously, is Anthony Bennett. When we got the number 1 pick and we got Bennett, everybody thought that would make us a lot better. And then we went on to get Andrew Bynum, and everybody's like, oh my god, if Andrew Bynum gets healthy with Anthony Bennett, this team is going to be awesome. We got Jared Jack, we got Earl Clark, but none of these pieces fit. Anthony Bennett was a flop. I mean, I'm going to talk a little bit about him later in this video. So, at the beginning of the season, he was a flop. Andrew Bynum, obviously, big flop. And then, Jared Jack has his moments, but at moments just like, why did we sign this guy to a 4-year deal? He can't play alongside Kyrie. It's very difficult, in my opinion, to find a player that can play well with Kyrie unless that player is a straight-up pass-first player. And Jared Jack is not a pass-first player. Then you look at Earl Clark. He had his moments again, but most of the time he's just below average. And the Cavs themselves have been extremely disappointing this season. But, Dan Gilbert recognized this. He fires Chris Grant, which is, in my opinion, a very good move. They need to bring a new GM, though. Bring in a new GM because David Griffin right now, he worked with Chris Grant, so I feel like he's going to be doing the same things that Chris Grant did, which ended up getting him fired. So hopefully we don't keep Griffin. But I think we're about to see a turnaround for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and there's many reasons. The first one I want to talk about is Anthony Bennett himself. So at the beginning of the season, he was god-awful. I'm not going to lie. He was god-awful. He didn't get any minutes. I mean, he probably got 4 or 5 minutes a game. Now, last night against Memphis, he didn't play too much, but over the past, during that losing streak, near the end of that losing streak, Anthony Bennett really stepped it up. He's looking a lot better. He's looking comfortable in this league. He's looking confident for the first time in the whole season. And we've seen some pretty good performances out of him. So that is going to be a huge help, especially if he can come out off the bench night after night and score 14, 15 points a game. That would be huge, and I can see him doing that because it really seems like he's developing into a very, I'm not going to say very good because he's not very good at all yet, but he's developing into a player that is 10 times better than what he was at the beginning of the season when he was airballing threes, when he was getting booed every time he went on the court. I mean, it was bad, and I'm seeing a good turnaround with him, which hopefully translates to the entire team. Now, the Cavs got Luol Deng. He hasn't been playing too good, but I feel like it takes time for a brand new player to mesh with his team, and I feel like over the next couple games, last night again against Memphis, he didn't play too hot. The Wizards, he was ill, but last night he did have a huge 3 in overtime, and hopefully he can start to mesh better with these players because that would be a huge addition to have a very, very a Luol Deng that's on the same page. I mean, that would be huge for the Cavs. And then we come to the firing of Chris Grant himself, and that seems to have sparked the Cavaliers because, look at, when a team fires a general manager, they're basically saying the players suck. I mean, just think about that. That's exactly what they're saying. Oh, we drafted Tristan Thompson, Anthony Bennett, Dion Waiters, those 3 players, terrible picks. So you're out, Chris Grant. That's what they're saying. They're saying that Dion Waiters, Tristan Thompson, and AB suck. And while they may be right at times, I mean, Tristan Thompson, I really don't feel like he's a franchise player whatsoever. We should probably move him. Dion Waiters has a huge, his ceiling is huge. I mean, this guy can play, and we do not want to get rid of him. Anthony Bennett, he has a huge ceiling. Tristan Thompson, I just don't see it. But Anthony Bennett, Dion Waiters, keep those 2. They are big players, and they could become huge. But I feel like the firing of Chris Grant basically told the whole team that they suck. So the team's really stepping up. And David Griffin talked to the team, and he said, I want to have this team. I want this team to have fun again because it seems like it's way too serious. I want them to have fun. And last night we saw Kyrie laughing. We saw Mike Brown laughing. We saw Dion Waiters and Kyrie interacting, which I've never really seen before in a game. Hopefully it was positive. And Kyrie at the end of the game said, when you have one of your best friends out there, it's really easy to play alongside him. So it seems like Kyrie and Dion are really meshing. Again, Anthony Bennett is turning it around. Hopefully Deng can turn it around. And David Griffin seems to be a positive influence on this team so far. So I am staying confident, guys, that the Cleveland Cavaliers will make the playoffs this year. And, if they don't, they don't. But through the rest of the season, I expect to see a Cavaliers team that is going to outperform the first part of this season exponentially. I mean, the Cavs looked great last night. They looked great in Washington, and I'm really excited to see if they can keep it up against Sacramento tomorrow night. So I will get back to you guys probably tomorrow night, maybe Wednesday. We will see. But this is the first episode of Cavs Talk here on YouTube. And let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with me? Do you think the Cavs are going to turn it around? Do you think Anthony Bennett is turning it around? Do you like what he's doing? Let me know what you think, guys. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.